A part of your day to be out here to join us for the big game. Happy Mother's Day.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. We're here finally, the state title game. The Highlanders of the Woodlands against the Scots of Highland Park. And the stage is set. Two coaches in their first year are taking their teams to the final game here on Championship Sunday. And happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. I know we're excited to call this game. I'm Chris Herron alongside Dalton Jernigan and Heckma Harrison. And guys, it's going to be pretty exciting, especially after that game yesterday. What are we thinking as far as Woodlands and Highland Park goes today?
Well, first off, I'm just excited to be back with the Wolfpack. But, no, I think today's going to be a fantastic game. I think the viewers at home and the viewers here are going to be – they're going to have a treat, especially if we see what we saw yesterday. The Woodlands offense was super explosive. They moved with a purpose. Really impressed by their off-ball ability yesterday. Highland Park really was dominating ESD and then, let up a bit in the fourth quarter. But thankfully, Frank Musa came through in the clutch to win that face-off in overtime. And you have those seniors. I think, Highland Park's going to really lean on that senior leadership.
No, I really believe that for me, when I look on the other side, there's two evenly matched squads coming on this field. And, I'm really excited about the way that they pulled out the victories yesterday. But this is a toss-up because you really don't know which team is going to show up on either side. And obviously with the weather, it's the great speed neutralizer. What's going to be the difference in this game?
All right, we're going to pause really quick for the national anthem, everybody.
No, Ben Abel, obviously, for 3 quarters was playing lights out. He is the reason why it's All-American, All-Star, all the accolades that he's received. But right there for 5 minutes, it was ESD was having their way. I don't anticipate that being able to play that game again today. So, you look for a guy like that to know that this is a championship, and you look for being able to be back to his ways.
No, he's certainly a competitor. I think he's going to bounce back. Like we talked about, I think the off-ball offense and how the defense is able to cover that is going to be a big factor today. You brought up the weather. Look for these teams to come out and really test that on the bouncers. That could give the goalies a lot of trouble today.
And again, we got to mention, right? We said it before. I said it in the open here. 2 coaches, first time ever, first time here in the state of Texas. They led their teams to the final game here. Can these guys lead their guys to victory? That's going to be the biggest question, I think, right? You got DeMayo on one side. You got Coach Pressler. You got a guy who's won a national title as a player. You got a coach who's taken a team in the old Duke Blue Devils to a national title. They've been in these big games before. I'm interested to see how it goes.
No, man, no pressure, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
No.
It's only Texas high school lacrosse, so it's
no,
okay.
No pressure at all for these first year coaches to make it to this level too, the THSLL state title. And man, there's so much at stake. And both of us were were a part of these guys playing before in Houston. And I think you bring this up, Coach, that look, it's hard to beat a team twice. And so, man, I look for the Woodlands to jump on these guys early. It's who's going to bring it? Who's going to absolutely withstand that first couple of flurries that happens in the momentum? Highland Park's just going to have to find a way to steal it back if that does happen. But you know that we saw this yesterday. Highland Park has just equal opportunity on the scoring end as well. And, man, this is going – man, I'm excited. I know you guys are as well.
It's got to be consistent effort. We saw that in the Woodlands where, you know, they were in the lead. They led up. Highland Park came back. We saw that with Highland Park yesterday. So that consistent effort, you got to keep your foot on the pedal if you have the lead. But I'm also excited to see both teams have some outstanding sophomores. How are they going to react on the big stage today?
And we got Presnell and we got the Moose digging in here. That faceoff brought to you by 214 Lacrosse. And the Moose, just as we suspected, gets the opening faceoff for the Scots. And we're underway here at the Texas Class AA state title game here on Game On Sports Network. He's got a hitch and go down the alley, and they're starting right away, firing on all cylinders with that alley dodge and that shot attempt.
And the rain's starting to pick up as soon as this game starts. So, look, guys, I don't want to jinx it or say anything. I'm just saying as far as the speed and this surface is concerned, that kind of gets nullified as the rain starts to come down.
Yeah, looked like that ball was going to be kicked off of the toe of Parker Addison.
And that was a great approach by Finta, getting out there, leading with his stick, getting right in Parker Addison's gloves.
Yep, we noticed it yesterday too, but it looks like there's going to be a procedure there off of that ride back. And here come the Woodlands with their first look on offense. And there's that number one stud that they like, and Kimo Koletsis with the ball to start this initiation in the opening possession for the Highlanders.
Just a sophomore.
Rolling back to the inside, knife into the middle. Shot's going to go over the cage. Nice hustle play right there.
Yeah, that was a great play by Kimo on his change of direction, but also baiting that defenseman to going over the head.
We got some operation here at the island. Got a show. Showing some pressure adjacently on Koletsis, but we get another knife shot, and it rings the post. It's going to be picked up by Cooper Starkey, the senior.
Looks like Woodlands is having some success really attacking that middle. Look for them to continue to take advantage of this wet conditions against defenders.
Starkey coming up the righty hash, looking, surveying, passes it back to X. We got another attempt going up the hash. Ball's up to Koletsis. And he's looking to operate again potentially. But he's going to swing it over to Ridge Crouch. Ridge Crouch bounces away, tries to get underneath, nothing doing, bounces away. Ball's going to bounce into the stick of Ben Abel.
Yeah, that was a great job by Keller Holmes, getting out there and getting pressure on that ball carrier's gloves.
And we got to give credit, but here comes a little transitional opportunity, knifing down the middle of the field. Shot's going to go over the goal, backed up by the Scots. We got to give a lot of credit to Ben Abel. He gets the ball up and out right away.
No, he does. Quick on the transition. That's a great job by your goalie.
Shot wide again.
And it's been interesting. We're seeing the weather conditions play a factor. A lot of these guys are going bouncers. You're seeing that go straight down because their sticks are starting to bag out because it's so wet outside.
Yep, rain's slowly starting to pick up here. As Parker Addison looking to operate in the low righty corner. He's going to get underneath. Shot attempt is going to be saved. Rebound shot. And he makes the save again.
That was huge.
Steele Kroom.
He moves the goal.
Stealing one away. Stays on his knees. Clearing pass attempt's going to be errant. Picked up by the Scots. As it swung back over.
And
Ryan Rapp with it.
Coach, I want to get an explanation on bagging your stick as far as the rain and how that impacts.
Yeah, so the material, the stick, a lot of the mesh. Nowadays, you have a lot of different mesh, so it's not as bad as it used to be back in the day, certainly when we played. But that stick will bag out quite a bit, and it looks like we got a flag down here, maybe a subbing issue.
A potential hold, potential subbing issue here. Operating from the island. Swings back over.
Yeah, we got seven guys in red out there.
Too many men on the field for the Highlanders. Shot's going to go out, and the Scots are going to go on the extra man.
So in lacrosse, the ball cannot be below the plastic. You can't see any daylight when a lot of times in between the half or quarters, the officials will check sticks. So they're going to be adjusting their sticks more so in games because the wet's going to cause that mesh to bag out more.
So it deepens that pocket.
Yes.
Basically.
Yep.
Just trying to get the translation for everybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You got to speak your own language.
We're speaking in code.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you being the translator.
Yeah. Just trying to help you guys out there.
Baxter, in English, please.
Who punted Baxter?
Highland Park doing a solid job. Step-in shot's going to be saved by Kroom.
Paxton Smith standing right there in the alley with the shot. Another great save, though, by Kroom.
Yep. Smith stepped in. Looked like he had some velocity on that one. Had a solid look at it. Good lane.
And you got to think Kroom's got a lot of confidence after that back-to-back save. But it looked like Highland Park didn't get in their EMO set. There wasn't a lot of rotation. You typically want to get more movement to get that defense rotating to get a higher percentage shot.
Colettis operating at the island. Looking for something to happen. Pulls it back out. Looks to survey from X. Redodge attempt. Gets to the front swing. Shot, and it goes in! And a goal. Kimo Colettis opens up the scoring here with the one-on-one move from behind the goal.
And Kimo Colettis just never gave up on the shot. He worked it back behind X, found his way back up top, but he knew he was going to call his number the whole time.
Well, and I really like this. This is almost just kind of a little wrap-around lever shot, and he goes far side. I think he did a good job of using that defender to disguise his stick to make it a more deceptive shot.
Yep, you get that look, reach from your shoulder. He reached from the hip on that one as Presnell's going to take this face off and look to continue to help add to the lead here in the first. Starkey with it. Back over to Crouch. Crouch noticing the matchup. Woodlands doing a solid job so far finding the short sticks, at least in the midfield. As Jack O'Rourke is going to take it to his left. Down to X. Nice job right there on defense by the Scots, making it difficult.
Triple team
skip pass
out
to the wing, shoots, and it's a save. Abel getting the ball out again, and here come the Scots in transition.
Yeah, that was a great job just recognizing that there's actually a triple team and throwing that skip pass. He saw that lane, but puts it high. That's easy save for Ben Abel to make.
Well, it looks like we got a little bit of a equipment issue here. Colettis in the ride lost his stick, and it's on the other side of the field right now. He cannot go get it.
Conditions are a little slick out there.
Yep. He was asking the referee. The referee said no dice. So he's off the field now as there's a pass to the wing. Shoots and goal! The Scots tie it up right there.
And you see two of the Scott seniors stepping up to answer the Woodlands. Great job. We saw Wesley Iverson very deadly and got that game winner by initiating from behind. Quinn Gordon doing a good job protecting his stick and then putting that 5-hole.
5-hole goal, and Quinn Gordon stepping right into that shot. They get him on his sweet spot. He's automatic from right there. That's a great job and great response there from the Highland Park Scots.
Yep, that replay brought to you by Iron Horse Lacrosse, serving the DFW, Houston, and Austin areas. Again, shout out to Coach Saran, another individual that's been down here, won some state titles, head coach of Dallas Jesuit. State champion last year. Get an initiation down the alley, shoots and scores. And just like that, the Woodlands answers. Looked like it was Sawyer Stewart, the junior, with the lefty take.
The middle of the three Stewart brothers does a good job on that pump fake. That causes that Highland Park defender to freeze on his slide, and he gets separation. Great goal.
And, Coach, I like that you mentioned a lot with the rain conditions. You see a lot of these guys depending on that bouncer. That is, you can tell that the trajectory of that shot has changed so much now that this field is wet.
You're 100% correct. It makes it a lot more difficult for the goalie to read compared to a traditional bouncer because of the slick conditions.
That last goal brought to you by agent Natalie Burkhalter of State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and so is Natalie.
And that's 3 in a row on the faceoff wins for Fresno.
Fresno getting the violation going his way. We get Starkey with the ball, swinging it back over across to O'Rourke. O'Rourke looks like he's going to carry it down into an invert. Looking to operate from behind. Takes it to his left, pass off the roll-off. A solid job right there by the Scots to sniff that one out. And here they come, trying to attempt to clear this ball.
Immediate reaction from that defense on the pass. Great outlet pass, about 60 yards.
Another transitional opportunity, knifing through the middle of the field, shoots wide. Backed up by the Scots. Parker Harris with the backup there. As we get Harris with it again. Operating from that lefty wing. Heading underneath. Roll back. Slide comes. Well, man ball opportunity. O'Rourke had it for a second. Able to corral it again, but it's jolted out by the Scots. Picked up. And that's going to be a push with possession right there.
Really tough GB by O'Rourke there.
Still a free play with Porter.
Yep, got the free play here.
And they're going to try to take advantage of this free play. Still plenty of time left here in the fourth. Just over 4 minutes. As Crouch takes it down the lefty alley. Looking for something on the inside. Shows patience. Over to Coletsis. Coletsis in a hung situation. Continuing to move. The Woodlands trying to move up top. Pass to Crouch. Inside shoots. And it's saved by Abel. Tracking that one.
Great save by Ben. You call it, Coach. You see the difference in the way they're shifting this defense because of Chemo. He's so impactful because, one, he just moves at a different speed than everyone else. And with him running the point behind the X, he's using his vision to find those guys cutting in front of the mouth goal. And, man, this is you can tell right now that the Woodlands are going to rely a lot on number one in his vision.
You're correct. I mean, he's probably the quickest player out here. He's one of the most explosive, but his vision and his ability to execute on those skip passes.
Extra man here for the Woodlands. Crouch stepping in, shoot saved by Abel again.
And that was a slick little seal by Chemo. Unfortunately, Ridge just goes high to high. That's an easy save for Ben Abel.
Trying a little copycat league action. The very first game we called, I remembered a seal like that, but I think it was on the other end of the field with the Scots. And here they come.
Yeah, that was Parker Addison sealing for Quinn Gordon.
Yep. Solid job right there. Again, offensive coordinator for the Scots, Ryan Brown. Player at Hopkins.
See our guy Donuts on the other side. Duncan Zilke, the guy that sent us home yesterday with the game winner.
Yep. We have Addison, broken stick. Bellies the slide, shoots wide. Backed up by Addison.
Yeah, Brian Rapp almost took advantage of that aggressive slide. Probably should have taken a little bit better of an angle.
Addison with it, heading towards the island, swings it over to Rapp. Rapp moves it over to flip the field. Sweeping attempt right there. Nothing doing.
And it looks like Highland Park's really going to take advantage of these short stick defenders and fall on that single invert.
Cameron Riley with the carry up the hash. Roll back up top. Ready look attempt. Shoots. Saved again by Kroom. There's a rebound, though. Woodlands looking to swarm on that. Nice ride right there. And the refs are going to keep it with the Scots.
Nice hustle by Jack McCallum.
And a reset. Shot clock goes back to 80 seconds. Front swing opportunity again. Wide. Player inside. Passes just not enough to hit the stick right there.
Oh, looks like they got away with one.
Yep, they did. Oh, wait. But they're going to call. Yep, it looked like it was a loose ball push.
That was quite the interesting signal.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
That's a new one for 2023.
I felt like I was watching a Navy SEAL Steven Seagal movie or something. There was so many hand signals right there. I was trying to figure it out. As we get Highland Park back with it, and another fresh shot clock. Another dodging attempt, passing the inside, goes at the feet. Nice hustle right there by Starkey. Taking it down the side and looking for some relief here out of that clear.
That was a great job by Highland Park's first line middies, Quinn Gordon, Paxton, and Wesley Iverson, sprinting to get back in the hole to stop the transition opportunity.
Yep. Dodging inside, opportunity, shoots and scores. And the Woodlands is going to take a 3-1 lead here. Luke Dana, the sophomore, knifing underneath, drops the hands, gets Abel guessing.
Yeah, really utilizing that speed, that defender. He got that defender to suck out on the perimeter, and he had a nice, effective S dodge to get underneath. You know, he was pretty impressive yesterday, having, 3 or 4 points, and he's got a lot of speed. I mean, we talked about it. We saw it yesterday. Woodlands has got a ton of speed out here and certainly taking advantage of these defenders in this weather condition.
That replay brought to you by Groovy Hughes, your one-stop shop for paint, power, and washing. As the Scots look to try to chip away here. Still plenty of lacrosse left.
And guys, that was an ongoing theme yesterday with Dana and him dropping his hands. I heard that over and over and over again. He had the hat trick, I believe, yesterday, but that was the way he was getting it done. It just couldn't pick up on it.
Right you are as Rapp bellies the slide from the Woodlands, passes it up top, keeping the ball moving. Elijah Porter on ball for the Woodlands. Now it's back down to X. Dodge on the short stick, past the last pipe, shoots and scores! Highland Park chipping away with that off-ball movement right there. And Cameron Riley, the junior, capitalizes.
And Highland Park's continuing to initiate from behind. Duncan Zelke does a great job dodging with his head up. And his ability, as soon as that slide comes, looking up, dishes it over to Cameron Riley, who does a great job on the backdoor cut.
Got to give credit to Duncan for the vision right there and catching your guy right in his sweet spot as Cameron Riley standing on the doorstep, delivering the mail. Easy for HP to pull within one.
Another State Farm goal right there as Presnell wins the faceoff, but gets yard sailed after that ground ball attempt, and the ball is going to roll back to the Scots.
So another thing that you're noticing here today, that's the second time we've seen a player lose their stick. In lacrosse, you use like grip tape that you see a lot of times in hockey. Some of these players, some like to do it, use it, some don't. And you're seeing the players without the grip tape really losing control of their sticks because of the rain.
Yep, that last attempt by Quinn Gordon. Looked like he was trying to take matters into his own hands as another errant clearing pass by Kroom. And an open net attempt after that pass was picked off. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. Teams are going to take a break. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
To car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back here with the start of the second quarter. The Woodlands leading Highland Park by 1. And talking about some of that stuff during that break, at least here in the booth. Clearing was a little sloppy there on both sides, I think.
Yeah, some of that certainly you could give it credit to the rain and just the wet conditions and how that's affecting the sticks.
Musa takes the face-off, shoots, and scores! And ties the game. The senior headed to Quinnipiac next year. And the future Bobcat.
And that's not just only a big goal for Frank Musa, who does a great job just soaking those checks and just smoking that one high to high. But Presnell really had his number. He won 4 in a row. So for Musa to come out of the start of the second quarter, to get that win and generate points, look for him to play with a lot more confidence.
Yep, Musa gets that one. Usually good for a couple. Right there, Heckma?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, death, taxes, and Frank Musa's going to win at the X. And he's found his match there with Presnell, because I'm not used to seeing this 50-50 at the X right now, but I am used to seeing Frank Musa take it coast to coast once he wins.
Well, he certainly is probably the most effective face-off player on the offensive end and certainly in transition in the state of Texas.
Just like we mentioned, Frank Musa headed to Quinnipiac College. Program in the MAC Conference. Shout out to Coach Keegan Wilkinson. I know you're listening today. We talked before. Congrats on the MAC title. As we get O'Rourke sweeping to his right, surveying, little weave action here with Coletsis as he gets to the middle. But nothing doing. Good job by the Scots defensively. Crouch with it. Back to O'Rourke. Back down to the wing, over back to Coletsis. Match up as he moves to the inside.
You got to be physical with number 1.
Belly in multiple slides right there. Elects to not S-dodge underneath. Gets it down to Sloan Walker Stewart. Shoots and scores. Coming up the hash.
Wow.
Sloan Walker Stewart with the lefty take coming up the hash. Right to that far pipe past Abel.
Got to give a lot of credit to Kimo as well. He does a great job being patient here, drawing that slide, and then Sloan Walker does a great job being physical and getting that shot off, showcasing that jumper.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Sloan Walker Stewart, the senior, having a sneaky good game. No, he was loud right there on that shot from the lefty. On the left side of the field, man, he is, man, I'm telling you, that's another guy that they got to get out on in a hurry and get a glove on him.
That last goal brought to you by C2 Education. They'll be available in person before and after the game for more information. As we got Stockton Stewart appearance. A Stockton Stewart sighting, I should say. Haven't seen him yet. And he's going to carry it down into the invert. Operating on the inside, looking for that potential roll-off. Nothing doing. Surveys again.
And for some of our viewers at home that are wondering.
Shoots and scores again. Right there. Sawyer Stewart, the junior, with his second, this time with the right hand. Coming down the righty alley.
Yeah, he does a good job of just attacking right away, getting his hands back, and getting that off-stick hip goal.
That replay brought to you by Iron Horse.
So before that goal, we were talking about an invert, and what an invert is in lacrosse is when you're taking that midi and you're inverting them back to the attack position, and you could see them attack the weakest part of the defense typically, which is the short stick
Presnell won it. Nice side backhanded pass over to Coletsis. He had the take, but Abel saw that one. Yes, not to be confused with the Top Gun invert. As Abel...
That was a great heads-up play by Ben Abel. It looked like the Woodlands was falling into their 10-man ride. That's when the goalie comes out in the full-court press. Best thing to do to bust a 10-man is shoot it at the cage.
Yeah, we got Sawyer Stewart, or sorry, not Sawyer, Sawyer Stewart with that last goal. And again, Abel doing a solid job of getting the ball up and out after he makes those saves. We get a quick slide right there by the Woodlands.
Oh, looks like Zelke getting open in the inside.
He's there. They got to find him.
Underneath, shoots just over the cage.
You definitely got to know where 19 is when Wes, the Goose, is carrying behind into that invert.
I believe that was Paxton Smith with the last take. There's a shoot. Yep, a shot and a goal right there.
And that was a great heads-up play by the senior, Wesley Iverson, who recognized there was confusion on the defensive end, and the mismatch, wide open, comes around, puts in the back of the net.
And not only that, the patience by Iverson and recognition immediately, Coach. As soon as he saw it, it was like green light. He got right to the crease and got that shot off. But I said in the open, guys, that I felt like the Woodlands would come out with all the momentum just coming into this game. It's going to be for HP to withstand those first couple shots and then return one of their own. And we see them every time that the Woodlands get a score, HP comes back with an answer.
Looked like that last goal was aided by Tudor Doctor, another sponsor for today. Still in a one-goal game. Woodlands over the Scots. As Cooper Starkey was bringing it down for the Highlanders, but now it's in the stick of Jack O'Rourke. As he heads underneath, Sloan Walker Stewart behind, moves it over to Coletsis. And he's going to swing it over to Starkey. Starkey on the short stick. Nice job stepping out right there on defense. Nathan Harper with a solid display of defense from off to on ball right there. As Coletsis operates again from the wing. Skips it over to Crouch, but it's not going to end up in Crouch's stick. It goes out of bounds, and the Scots get it back.
And you see the attention that they are playing to Nico.
Wow. Ride back right there.
Great ride,
and a
buddy.
quick restart potentially. Oh. Ball bouncing on the field, unfortunately, doesn't allow for the quick restart.
Great physical effort by the senior, just selling out there.
Sloan Walker Stewart throwing the body to keep the ball back on his offensive end. As Crouch takes his short stick matchup, pump fakes, shoots, looks like it was deflected. Bouncing ball heading towards midfield. Hockeyed right there by Rapp, but it comes out of his stick.
And we got bodies flying everywhere.
Still fighting for it as it heads over midfield. Coletsis picks it up.
Oh, and Woodlands got away with an offsides there.
Yep.
They did.
Yes, they did. That's Coletsis looking to potentially make something happen. Elects to pull the ball out and settle this Woodland offense down. Backhanded shot attempt. Like Abel might have got a piece of that one. But it's backed up by the Scots.
Alexis is just so good. You see every time he's behind the X and he gets going, that whole defense just tenses up with the attention put on number one.
And looks like Woodlands is back in their 10-man ride.
Snapping out of it as Kroom heads back to the cage. Bouncing ball. Ends up in the stick of Colin Hale. And he gets it back to his offense as he subs. Rapp with it. As they bring it back down to their offensive end, ball slowly starts to move.
Looks like Highland Park's got.
Looks like they're looking for something here. They're going to carry it back down into that invert. Up the hash, pass to the wing. Sweeping cut right there, shoots. A little bit of a desk pop shot right there.
And Aiden for the Woodlands does a great job getting in Quinn Gordon's gloves as he's going to shoot the ball, and that's why one of the reasons you saw that shot go so high.
Yep, right to the gloves, sliding to skewer, as they say. Pass out in front, shoots wide. Backed up again.
Sands bringing the missile.
Letting that one for sure. As Highland Park is going to end up running out the shot clock. Some solid looks right there, though, by them offensively as Porter picks it up for the Woodlands. And Kroom. Back over to Stockton Stewart. Swings it over. Looks like it's Crouch with it.
And guys, still Kroom has done a wonderful job for the Woodlands. I asked you guys yesterday, how hard is it to go to play the two-man goalie system when you have a guy like Steele Kroom playing like this in the first half, and especially with the pace that this game is being played with? Man, I think it's hard to that's why I think it's so hard to replace a guy like that.
Well, I think there's two ways you can look at it.
Step-in shot, rings the post. It was Walker Stewart with it. Dropped the hands, beat Abel, it hit the post and went right back to him.
So there's two ways of looking at it. You could look at it, hey, having a different goalie could screw a little bit with some of the shooters for Highland Park, or you just stick with the hot hand.
Looks like a lost stick, a shot and a goal, though. Wow, what a display right there of passing and a finish right on the hashes.
And you're seeing a ton of physical dodges from not only the Woodlands, but also Highland Park. They execute the two-man action that causes confusion, and then Sloan Walker does an excellent job cutting and quick sticking it in the back of the net.
Yep, Luke Dano with the assist on that one, operating behind the goal, found his teammate. And that State Farm goal was a pretty one right there. Some off-ball display right there, just like they were doing yesterday. Fresnel wanted to push. The ref said no. As Musa, again, doing a solid job, just like he did yesterday at the dot.
But one of the things is a big surprise. Right now, Fresnel is 7 for 10 on the faceoffs, which has got to be a big factor on why the Woodlands is getting so many more extra possessions and are up 6-4 right now.
Cameron Riley bellying some slides right there. Moves it over to Rapp. Rapp with a righty alley take. Back down to X. Nicely handled by Addison. He swims, shoots just high. And it's going to be backed up by McCallum.
And, Coach, if you told me this morning that, Frank Moose is going to be, they give away 7 for 10 at the X, I wouldn't have believed you. Would not have believed you.
Certainly has been very dominant all years. McCallum passes it to the far pipe. Woodland swarms on it, though. Bounces into the stick of Riley. Riley pass up the hash, shot, and a goal!
And that was an excellent job. That set that up was Duncan Zelke catching that ball, recognizing he was out of his angle, didn't have a great shooting angle, dishes it back to his teammate at X, right here, picks it up. Cameron Riley gives it back, and he goes high to high, beats Kroom.
Zelke, nice handle again, like you said, coming up the hash, shooting it to that pipe, reaching from the shoulder. As this 2-1-4 face-off with Presnell and Musa.
And another one.
Looks like Presnell going to the quick rake against the strong, clamping Musa.
And that's something that Coach Pressler is going to talk about, are those face-off victories, getting those extra possessions for the Highlanders.
Yep. Coach Pressler certainly no stranger to having a solid face-off guy, especially during his years at Bryant with Ryan Nassib and their quarterfinal run. There's a timeout on the field. We're going to take a timeout, and we're going to be back right after this.
I love the idea that when you pull into the service garage, your name comes up on the screen. I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Infinity locations.
We've done both new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
And we're back here.
You had a special guest in the first Class A championship against Kincaid with Jonathan Donville, who is one of the leading candidates for Rookie of the Year in the NLL this past year. He plays for Panther City. And a fun fact about him is him and Coach DeMeo were teammates and line mates at Maryland when they won the national championship last year.
Well, here's the thing. If I'm in the booth with a celebrity, at least I want to know it, right?
Yeah, somebody's got to give you a heads up.
Somebody's got to give me a heads up. I'm in the booth with a celebrity, right? So I'm sitting here and I have to Google this guy, and I'm realizing, like, oh, my God, this guy's scored 100 goals.
You're just in the trenches taking grenades.
Can we get a heads up, please?
A little bit, right? Just tell me. Yep. This guy's a celebrity.
It's kind of like one of those things where they get like one of those random Dallas Cowboy receivers going to Dick's Sporting Goods and he's interviewing people and they're like, yeah, Cowboys stink.
Where's Ashton Kutcher? Are you on You Got Punked?
I did. I'm telling you, I know I did. And I'm like talking to him the whole time, not even knowing. This guy is lacrosse royalty.
Looks like the Woodlands are going with Coletsis. Benton Owens with the coverage. Coming out of that timeout.
What's the answer for number one? I mean, because Chemo he's really setting up this offense, and HP lucky to be down by 1 point right now.
Going to a two-man action. Gets into a hung situation. Something that the Woodlands has shown to capitalize on before, as Coletsis is still operating behind the cage. Shot clock at 35. Pass to the inside to O'Rourke. Shoots and scores! O'Rourke with the off-ball action right there. Coletsis in a hung situation. And let's look at that replay brought to you by Iron Horse.
Yeah, Chemo does a great job just staying patient, not panicking, waiting for his teammates to open up. O'Rourke does an excellent job cutting backdoor. I think we had some confusion by the Highland Park defenders, and he makes them pay. But to your point on, how do you defend Chemo? I mean, everything's running through him. He's the facilitator. He's a lefty, and he loves going to his left hand. If I'm Highland Park, I'm going to press out a little bit more in that hung situation and force him to his right. We've only seen him take one shot from the right side, and he didn't even put it in his right hand. He tried to get a backhand with his left hand.
Breslin with the through-the-legs attempt. Dangerous ground ball right there, right through the middle of the field, but it's going to roll to the stick of Kroom. And there's a nice, solid clearing pass to Stockton Stewart with the handle as he takes the ball back down to the offensive end. And again, for me, I think defensively, they're coming out. They set a little razor pick, which means it's like right on GLE. It's a very tough thing to cover. And he's so quick to change the direction. You got to slide, but again, there's already two guys on the ball after that pick. So it puts a lot more pressure on those guys on the backside of the play. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing for them is wherever he's at, it just depends on how close he is to the goal and how quick they want to slide. Because if you slide quick, you have to recover just as quick as you slide in order to have good, solid team defense. So, again, they just got to keep continuing to get sideways. And what I mean by that is you could see those guys off ball where O'Rourke scored. They just didn't have their hips flipped in the right spots.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it's just a reaction to one player changing the face of your whole defense. And what it's doing is making it so much easier for him to facilitate for the other guys who are behind the defense.
Yep. And they're putting so much pressure on what he's doing, and I think that's the thing. You can kind of see a little bit of the overzealous play right there. But again, like Highland Park is still in the game.
Yes.
It's just a matter of like we can't be so trigger happy with him as there's a shot and saved by Kroom. Attempt right there. Looked like it was Paxton Smith. Steele Kroom is going to get the ball back and look to operate in the clear. He's got Porter wide open in the corner, but elects to move it to the far sideline.
Check.
Ride back right there by the Scots. Bouncing ball heading towards out of bounds.
And no call on the far side.
And it looks like the ball is going to go back to the Scots. Trailing official made the call. And Dalton, I mean, you know the defensive coordinator for Highland Park. Like, if you're him, what are you saying as far as the whole Coletsis thing and the matchups and all that?
You just can't let him get to his left so easily. Really force him and maybe change your approach and be a little bit more aggressive where you're forcing him to
Ryan Rapp passing the inside, shot high.
To his weak hand, which is his right. Also, hey, maybe they mix it up. Maybe you put a different personnel and continue to rotate through. They definitely have the deepest bench for defenders. So maybe get out there and pressure them and mix up some of the matchups.
Yep, Rapp again with an up the hash attempt. It was saved by Kroom. There's 1 minute left here in this first half here at this AA state championship game at Buddy Eccles Field. As the Woodlands is going to potentially look for this final shot, and they are, as Coach DeMayo is going to take the final timeout that he has for the half. They're going to take a timeout. We are also going to take a timeout, and we'll be right back after a word from the sponsors. Back here, Chris Herron, Heckma Harrison, Dalton Jernigan. 42 seconds left in this contest of the first half, I should say. And we're going to take a look at this quick replay. And Heckma, this is exactly what I'm talking about with a razor pick, right? It gets that hung situation. That's what I mean by a hung situation, right? You got a defender above the goal, right? And everybody's still looking at Coletsis. And that's the biggest thing right there. That guy right there in front of Ben Abel, that's not his fault. He's supposed to be focused on that guy. Everybody else needs to get sideways, and the communication piece of that is calling cutters and making sure guys like O'Rourke don't end up that wide open.
And a good rule of thumb, we're here at the Capel Stadium, the Cowboys. A lot of things what you teach, especially for youth lacrosse, is get your guns up. You know, you want to be sideways, so if you're pulling two pistols out of your holster, you could be pointing at the ball and be pointing at your off-ball man. And it looks like Coach Stahl has dialed up a zone defense to come out of this timeout.
And I can tell you guys love the X's and O's standpoint of it because you were calling the zone as they were taking the timeout because you knew that would be their best defense that they would have coming with these last 40 seconds here in the game.
Yep, and it's a good solid way to slow down that high-powering offense with the facilitator that has the ball in his stick that moved it over to Starkey. Walker Stewart back to X. Pass to the inside. O'Rourke shoots and scores again. And little golf celebration from O'Rourke as the Woodlands is going to take an 8-5 lead with just 19 seconds left in the first half.
And right there, just like what Coach Herron was talking about, it looks like Keller Holmes might have got a little lost off ball. He was square to that guy instead of being sideways, and that allowed O'Rourke to get open and get that off ball goal.
And the crisp passes right now from the Woodlands, you know, they haven't had it's the clears, with the passes over the top. It was Chemo Coletsis, and they're pretty much just dialing it up however they want, whether you go zone, man, whatever. They're just finding the open guy standing in the crease and getting the score.
Yep, Presnall with another face-off win as the clock's going to tick down to 5 seconds. Final attempted shot of the half right there. Oh, picked up by Kroom, and it rings off the post. Just as the time runs out here in the first half, and that will do it for the first half. And the Woodlands is going to be up 8-5 on the Scots of Highland Park. And we're going to head to a quick commercial. We'll be back in a little bit for a quick first half recap after this.
I love the idea that when you pull into the service garage, your name comes up on the screen. I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Infiniti locations.
I'll sit down, have a cup of cappuccino, a cookie, read a book. When the car is ready, they come get me. It's a great way to start a Saturday.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Lexus locations.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
I actually look forward to car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
My head is being decapitated by
I put a lot of mileage on my car. So I am practically at Sewell every 3 months. Every single time that I go, it's amazing. Everybody is welcoming, everybody is professional, everybody is kind. It's just like easy, fast, right to the point. You're in, you're out. Cannot imagine being with anybody else but Sewell. Their customer service is absolutely flawless. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Lexus locations.
All right, and we're back here in Capel, Texas at Buddy Eccles Field. The Woodlands at the half, up by 3, 8-5 over the Scots. And Dalton, if you're the Woodlands, what are we doing here?
Well, what's going to be really important is do not take your foot off the gas. That's something that's got them in trouble. The last time they met Highland Park when they had the lead, they took their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, and Highland Park was able to come back. For them, it's like, what are you going to do goalie situation? Steele Kroom had a fantastic first half. I think you just go with the hot hand, continue to play him. And then for Highland Park on the defensive side of things, it's really going to be, Coach Stahl coaching his guys up on our off-ball positioning. A lot of the guys are square to the Dodger. They need to get sideways to maximize their vision and then also get their sticks up in the passing lane. A lot of those guys have their sticks on their hips. And why you want to do that is not only to pick off passes, but also to deter those skip passes that you're seeing the Woodlands really execute. I mean, their passes are crisp. You're seeing them take some chances, but they could do that because a lot of stuff's opening up, and they're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
And heck, but you've called these Highland Park games all year. Who do they have to get going here on offense?
For me, it's not where's Waldo, where's Parker Addison. I want to know where Parker Addison is. He's the guy that gets the party started from behind X. They rely heavily on his vision. I know they go with Duncan Zilke and they go with a couple of different looks, but right now I think when you get Parker Addison facilitating this offense, that's the better part of this Highland Park. Look, they've withstood that first couple of onslaught that came from the Woodlands. Right now, offensively, they've got to get those hot sticks back going again.
Okay, cool. We're going to take a look at some of the first half highlights brought to you by Firehouse Subs. We get a lot of that. Again, just what we mentioned, Kroom, the hot hand there, Coach Jernigan.
And that's going to be the save of the game so far. I mean, that was really impressive, especially the second save, diving across. You've seen Highland Park continue to find a lot of success. You've seen all season with that single short stick invert right there.
And Heckma, again, like you've talked about it, right? Some of the stuff with the face-off, you said, what was it, death taxes and Frank Musa dominating, right?
Yeah, Frank Musa is dominating. So that's the one thing that I think is different and made the difference in this game is the fact that Frank Musa is right now, 80% of the face-offs are going to the Woodlands, and no one could have anticipated that. And look, on the other side for the Woodlands, I got to show them some love. Offensively, they're going with the proper shots. They're going with the bouncers. On the other side for the Scots, their shots are just a little high. I mean, they've got to make some adjustments to the weather right now.
Yeah, you want to keep those goalies guessing. I think face-off is going to be a big factor. Look for the Highland Park staff to really coach up, Frank Musa, maybe to start moving to some of his counters, and then mentally getting him back in the game. He's a really tough competitor. I think he'll come back here and make some adjustments and get that confidence back.
All right, well, the teams are back out on the field. They're getting loose for the start of the second half. We're going to take another break, and we're going to be right back here for the final half of the THSLL state title game here on Game On Sports Network.
They brought y'all subs. Stay outside.
I'll sit down, have a cup of cappuccino, a cookie, read a book. When the car is ready, they come get me. It's a great way to start a Saturday.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Lexus locations.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome. Stay focused and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good.
And we're back here. That opening face-off of the second half, the violation by Presdell, and the Scots are going to open up the second half with their first look on offense here. As there's a pass up top, bouncing balls rolling towards midfield. And there's a play on. They're going to call a push, though, on Colettis, not the over and back. And the Scots are going to maintain possession here with a fresh 80 seconds.
I think you got to give Owens a lot of credit on selling that.
He sold that,
sure.
didn't he? Did he not sell that? That was a dive.
Couldn't tell if it was him or Danny Rojas. A little soccer flop right there. As there's a pass down to X. Surveying behind the cage again. Addison cutting through off ball. Ball swings up and back down over. Paxton Smith looking like he's going to move over to a short stick matchup. Sweeping to the right. Shot goes high off the stick of a Woodland defender. Wouldn't have mattered, as Addison has the backup. He's going to bring it back in after that restart. Operating again behind the cage. Cuts off ball, shot down the hash, and it goes in. And a goal for the Scots. Starting the second half, chipping right away at this Highlander lead.
And Heckma, they must have been listening to you at halftime, because Paxton Smith does a great job of mixing up his shot selection, going high to low, and putting that one past Clinton.
Yo, this is the offense that you're used to seeing. These guys can, man, those points are going to come in bunches for Highland Park. They just got to withstand that first onslaught. They've done that, but this is where I want to see them get better. And this is with my guy, number 26, Frank Musa.
Certainly a game of runs right there as Musa wins that draw again for the Scots. As we have Highland Park with their second possession here of the half. The Woodlands yet to have the ball on offense with just over 10 minutes in the third. As there's operation with Rapp behind the cage. He's going to swing it back up top. Opportunistic dodging opportunity, shoots high. And Clinton saw it, but didn't need to grab it.
Going back into that big little action there.
Addison dodging behind, passes up top. Cameron Riley with it. On that short stick matchup, still operating, but down to Rapp. You got a short-to-short situation here. Rapp electing to not use the pick. Rocker move up top, passes it up to the middle.
Gonna have to go here quick. Just about 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Addison climbing the ladder, shoots, and it's saved by Clinton, tracking that at the island.
Yeah, Clinton did not move at all. He reached the face of that head out and did not move. He was not impacted at all by that shot.
And that's going to be really important for his confidence, especially because the first shot he saw went past him to start the second half. So this is going to give him a little bit more confidence.
Clinton, the Roanoke College commit, heading to Roanoke, Virginia in a couple of years.
Now, Coach, what about this as an adjustment now to Colette's?
As here it comes, another razor pick by O'Rourke. Colette's still has it, moves it up top. Deno with it, knife into the middle of the field, shoots, bounces over the cage. Race to the end line is awarded to O'Rourke with the backup. Quick restart, O'Rourke swings it back up top. Two-man. Oh, pass in front, and a push, and a goal right there. And it's a good goal according to the officials. Sloan Walker Stewart capitalizing again off of Cooper Starkey, operating from that wing off the pick.
Yeah, he does a great job getting that inside roll and keeping his composure while taking that cross check from behind to get his hat trick of the game.
That little bee sting move, as they say, roll right into him. Use the backside.
You know, one of the things we saw yesterday, the Woodlands do such a good job with was answering every single time Westlake has scored, and they've continued to do that here today.
Yep, keeping with that theme, just like yesterday. Coach Burke and the Chaps certainly gave those guys a run. As there's a transitional opportunity, pass is going to be deflected. Elijah Porter almost had it. Addison with it. As he picks up the GB, he's going to swing it back up top. And the Scots are going to slow things down to get their offensive personnel on the field, but there's a miscommunication. And the ball's going to roll.
On the line.
Yep, right on the line. Looked like a bunting play in baseball.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't call that sooner, because that would have been an over and back.
Absolutely. As Walker Stewart picks it up. O'Rourke has it now. And Crouch draws that long pull matchup as he comes out of the box, barreling down to his left, shoots, and it's saved by Abel. Rebound picked up by the Scots. Transition pass right there, nicely handled, and here come the Scots, but it's checked out by Colette's as he elects to play midfield in the ride.
How valuable is that for Colette's?
Big hit in the middle of the field right there. Picked up by Colette's, though. And we got some of the defensemen for the Woodlands trying to tell Colette's to slow down. Looked like it was Finta, the junior, telling the sophomore, hey, we need a break, buddy.
Alexis has one speed, and it's go.
Yeah, but I mean, he does such a great job. Just that ride and that second effort to get that cause turnover, and then he comes up with the ground ball. Some of these plays that maybe aren't statted or in between the lines are really making a difference for the Woodlands.
Starkey got it down to O'Rourke. O'Rourke has the short stick again. Back over to Crouch. Crouch electing to use a pick. Solid job right there on defense by Harper. As he S-dodges underneath, shoots and scores again. Oh, no, but they're going to wave it off. He landed in the crease. Abel gets the ball up and out. Oh, looked like Porter was heading for a headshot, but he doesn't get it. The Scots keep it, and they're going to call an offsides.
That's actually a pretty heady offsides play.
Yep.
You typically don't want to slide upfield. That's a big cardinal sin and defense, especially in transition. But to be able to catch that defender from Highland Park, not recognizing he was going to get pressure.
Nice job by the senior, also electing to kind of pull back on the brakes there.
How about that for a pickpocket by number 3?
Starkey. Yep. Starkey with a nice short stick defensive play.
But Duncan Zelke continues to stay on it and is able to get that ball back.
Yep. Scots maintain possession. Operating in the midfield, shoots and scores! And right there, Highland Park fighting back. The roll back up top. Paxton Smith notches another one. And they try again to keep it or chip away at this lead, 9-7.
Yeah, Paxton Smith does an excellent job of changing direction, which causes Elijah Porter to go out and put his hands on the guy deep. But you got to think Coach Brown and Coach Pressler really got through to Paxton Smith because all of his shots were high to high the first half, and he's 2 for 2 by going high to low.
It made the adjustments have the Scots on their shots, but also the vision of the shooters getting to the middle of that goal and shooting right down the hatch. That's a great job by number 21.
That replay brought to you by Groovy Hoos. One-stop shop for paint, power, and washing. That goal brought to you by State Farm, Agent Natalie Burkhalter.
Oh, man, let's get groovy, baby.
That's right. Working together. We're a community right here, right? Lacrosse community in Dallas.
Well, yeah, you also can never leave a fellow crasher behind.
Yeah, rule number 76, no excuses, play like a champion. Perfect mentality for today, as this is the state title game in Class AA.
There you go.
Picked off by Abel there on the rollback.
How about that for the vision for number 16? Recognizing they're trying to get it back behind the X to set up their offense and stepping in between that pass.
Pass to the front, transition opportunity, steps in, shoots and scores! And there he is, Parker Addison, just like you said, Mr. Heckma. Where was Waldo? He's right there right now as he gets this game within 1.
And it all starts with Abel picking that pass off, pushing it up the field. Great assist by Ben Boyer. And then Parker Addison going high to low, using the weather conditions, which is so much harder for these goalies to read the bounce shots with the turf being as slick as it is today.
That replay brought to you by Iron Horse, serving the Dallas-Fort Worth, Austin, and Houston areas for Club Lacrosse.
There he is, getting a little jumpy down there as Presnall.
And that's going to be a second violation.
So, Coach, I got to say this now. It's got to be inching a little bit closer now for Frank Musa.
Well, the tables have certainly turned because Frank Musa has gone 4 out of 5 face-off wins in the second half.
Yep. And has certainly done a good job digging in. Had a solid fast break goal, taking matters into his own hands in the second quarter. As Addison's going to pick up that ground ball, the ball's going to be swinging across.
And these second chance GBs.
Step in shot, hits the post.
Wow.
Looked like it hit the backside of Clinton. And there was a flag down. And the Scots, yes indeed, are going to go on the extra man.
And a big reason the Scots are having success is the Woodlands is getting out, pressuring, putting the ball on the turf, but the second chance ground ball opportunities, HP is coming up with them.
That attempt right there off the post. Hits Clinton right in the backside. He's able to pick it up, but here come the Scots on their extra man opportunity. Swinging the ball across. Addison gets it back up top.
See these guys find a cutter.
Seal from the inside.
in front of the crease. There he is.
Hitch and go move.
And what do you call that?
A hitch and a go.
No, I thought that was your
that. No, that was a skewer right there. That was a really good defensive play. Yep, not quite. As we get another small wheel on the one side. Highland Park doing a good job changing sides of the field here in this extra man. Thought about a skip opportunity. Step in lane, opportunity, shoots and scores! Tie game! Right there, the man-up opportunity, Harris Sands.
Yeah, Coach Brown doing an excellent job drawing up those rotations or the drags and pulls, because the Woodlands, and you see that slide, they came out in a box and one, so they only have 4 guys on the perimeter that's a part of that slide rotation package, and Harris Sands does a great job putting that off-stick hip.
Now, when you have a man-up opportunity like that, Coach, is it just customary for you just to be patient, to get the rotation going, to find the open shot and not force anything?
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what you want to be doing. They did a tremendous job right there. They overloaded a side. You could see the Woodlands defense moving to a side, and that's the reason why it freed up that shot. And Harris Sands with another goal on the day, as Brian Rapp's got the ball now, and the Scots showing some new signs of life here in the third. Rapp with it behind the cage, front swing, pass in front, shoots and scores! And the Scots take the lead. 10-9. Rapp behind the goal.
Donuts! That's the call. Duncan Zilke, we're in prime position, pass right out. And I love the fact that they're not taking any time, not trying to cradle or anything like that. As soon as you get the pass, the shot's off.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you had a miscommunication by the Woodlands where they sent 2 guys to slide to Brian Rapp, which opened it up for Duncan Zilke.
Yep, and it looks like Coach DeMayo.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we were going to see a goalie change here.
Yep. Coach DeMayo is going to take a timeout, talk things over, and we're going to take a timeout as well. We'll be right back after these commercials. And we're back here, just under 3.5 here in the third. Highland Park came back, and Dalton, if you're Coach DeMayo on the timeout, what are you saying to your guys?
They got to get back to, one, on the faceoffs. That's been the big difference, and the key to Highland Park's success is Frank Musa making those adjustments. He's gone 5 for 6 in the second half, and then defensively being more disciplined with their off-ball play. And I got to think they got to put Steele Kroon back in the net.
And you're going to steal Kroon. I mean, I've asked the question as soon as I got you guys up here about that 2-goalie system, because I absolutely felt in that first half, Steele Kroon was the difference for them. I mean, I understand Christian Clinton, he is awesome as a junior, but you ride the hot hand, and it would surprise me if they went back.
And I think also a big factor was, you got to think Coach Brown was talking to his shooters as one of the best shooters to ever play the game and mixing up their shots. That's been a big difference. You know, you saw them really just kind of going high to high that first half. The second half, they're going high to low and really utilizing these slick conditions.
And again, you mentioned it too when we were talking at halftime there, Heckma. Your guy, Parker Addison, shows up with a nice little goal there to continue to chip away. Now the Scots have a lead over the Woodlands, as this 2-1-4 face-off with Presnell and the Moose is underway.
And that's an excellent counter by Frank Musa. Presnell wins the clamp, and then he goes with the hook to dislodge the ball.
Another pass in front. What a handle. Pass out to the wing.
Whoa.
Pass back up top to Musa. Kaletsis was on the wing originally, and he's got the ball here in transition. Looking down towards the back pipe pass. Oh, and it just goes wide. Back up to Rich Crouch. Rich Crouch has an opportunity. He's going to slow it down, though.
It's a good job by the Woodlands slowing that action down.
Looked like Crouch thought about pulling the trigger. Saw the window closing, but he's going to continue to initiate on that short stick matchup as he bounces away in the middle of the field, going down the lefty alley. Thought about it, pump fake, but he falls. Ball on the deck still, picked up by the Scots.
That's a good job by your sophomore, Ben Boyer. Talk about the job that he does defensively with that long pole.
Another pass into the middle of the field. Highland Park gets their ball on the offensive end. And here come their offensive personnel.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Chemo up on the wing more often this second half. He's their best offensive player, facilitator, super fast. You got to get the ball in his stick, and that is common for coaches. If you got a really good player like him on attack,
Quinn Gordon attempt
to move him up to the wing because he's a good ball handler and he's going to be excellent in the clear.
Quinn Gordon had a step, shot it high, backed up by Addison. And Highland Park trying to add to this lead here. As we get a two-man look here. Likes to not use the pick. Wraparound shot saved by Clinton.
It's a great save. Parker Addison had him dead to rights.
Yep, gets the ball right out to Starkey. Starkey showing patience in the clear. Back over to Clinton. O'Rourke covered in the far corner. Clock winding down, 2 seconds, had to get it over. Pass, checked out of the stick.
With the ground ball.
Still being hockeyed around. Heading towards the sideline. Attempted pass is going to stay in bounds. Oh, Porter sliding upfield. A transition opportunity for the Scot. Addison, knife into the middle, shoots. And it's saved by Clinton.
And that was an excellent decision by Parker Addison, recognizing he was still far out and redodging in transition. That's actually a time, even in that uneven situation, that you could push and attack on offense.
And we got a penalty here. See what the call is. Looks like it's going to be a hold on Porter, and he's going to head to the sin bin. And the Scots back on their extra man.
And one of the reasons why the Woodlands had so much difficulty clearing there is all their middies went straight to the box. You got to help on the sub, on the clear first before you go and sub.
Just over a minute here in the third. Scots taking their lead on the extra man. Stick in the lane right there by the Woodlands. And picked up.
Maybe a missed opportunity with man up by the Scots.
Down to Luke Dana, trying to kill this penalty for the Highlanders. Still plenty of time here left. The game clock is under.
And heck, but that's a great point. You know, if the Woodlands can get some momentum back and tie this and kill this penalty, it could be massive for them.
Coletsis inside roll, shoots, and it gets deflected by Abel. Bouncing ball behind the cage. Clock still winding down. 23 seconds left in the third, and the Scots still have time to continue to add to the lead here. Number opportunity. Ball down to Addison. He pulls it out. Back up top. Crowd certainly trying to let this Highland Park offense know there's a pass out to the hashes. Question mark shot just wide.
And I think Clinton got a piece of that. That was big.
Yep, Clinton looked like he got a toenail on it.
That's it.
And that's going to do it for the third. And both teams are going to talk things over before the last quarter here of the AA Texas State Championship. And we'll be right back after this.
Forward to car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back here for the start of the fourth. Dalton, what do you got for me, man?
We got some college updates, and I was going to say, the Army over Maryland in the NCAA tournament was the biggest upset, but Michigan, who you used to be a former assistant coach at Michigan, that's something we share in common, coaching at the NCAA level, but Michigan coming out on top over Cornell in OT 15-14.
I knew it the whole time.
And then Hopkins just putting an absolute beating on Bryant, and they won earlier today 22-8.
Yep, Big Ten surely showing out. I know you're listening out there, Dad. I know it's Mother's Day, but Jim Herron certainly excited about that Army victory over the Terrapins last night. Yep. Another one-goal game.
And got to give a big thank you to all the moms out there. I know certainly my mom Lisa is watching at home, so happy Mother's Day.
And Heckma, it looked like you were pointing out some of the stuff with the field. Looks like the rain's starting to really come down here. Some guys tending to the field, making sure those crease lines are visible by the officials. A little chalk paint action going on here.
So I get to do a game with a couple of guys that don't have wives, so you don't know how much of a sin working on Mother's Day is. But for all of you guys down in the truck that face imminent danger when you get home, God bless you.
And I know we said thanks to our sponsors, but again, thanks to all the mothers out there, especially the mothers today in the crowd watching their sons potentially hoisting a state title trophy here at Buddy Eccles Field. As Presnell and the Moose dig back in to start the fourth. And that face-off won by the Woodlands, brought to you by 214 Lacrosse.
And here we are, being able on this goal, the same goal that he was yesterday during the run for ESD. Let's have a bit of a change of fortune here for number 16.
I didn't say it. You said it.
I did. No. I said it to reverse it.
Coletsis looked for an inside roll, but a nice job right there defensively, closing the gate.
Now that's Benton Owens turning him back.
And Owens with the 1v1 look as Starkey sweeping to his right hand, thought about passing it down to an open teammate, but that window closed. As there's another sweep to the middle, O'Rourke with it now. He's going to operate from that low wing.
Look how fast the slide is coming.
Shot, saved by Abel. And here come the Scots with their first look on offense here in the fourth. As Paxton Smith slowing things down for the Scots offense.
Another strength for Ben Abel, his ability to get the transition started using his vision, very crisp with his passes.
Yep, again, something that we did see yesterday. There's an up the hash move here, inside roll, rolls back, swim move, pass in front, shoots and scores! And Highland Park takes an 11-9 lead. The off-ball cut right there.
And that's the exact same play that won it in OT for the Scots. Wesley Iverson utilizing and attacking in that short stick invert. And then you got to know where Duncan Zelke is. They slide. That two slide was too late. You got to get down there and get your stick in front of him.
Hey, Coach, you took the words right out of my mouth. How do you forget about where number 19 is? You've got to get someone on this guy. And, boy, this battle that's happening at the face-off between these two, man, this is epic.
Loose ball push on the Scots. And the ball goes back to the Woodlands. And the Woodlands now down by 2, first time all game. And they're going to look to try to chip away, just like the Scots did in the third.
And, Coach, you got to tell me about what Coach Stahl has done defensively. We've seen completely different looks from the first half and the way that they've dealt with Kimo Coletsis.
Well, I think certainly they're not having as many possessions to defend against, thanks to Frank Musa in that third quarter.
Right, that's one.
And then also just their off-ball positioning. And I think the Woodlands, they've slowed down. It's been stagnant off-ball. You don't see them moving as much as they did in the first half.
Low pass by Walker Stewart, picked up by the Scots. Had a thought in transition, but they slow things down here as Addison waits for his offensive personnel, or the rest of the offensive personnel, to get on the field. Quinn Gordon with it. Coach Brown looks like he's calling out the invert again as Gordon takes it behind, covered by O'Rourke. Into it up the hash, pass to a cutter, step-in shot, deflected, sacrificing the body right there was Walker Stewart. And that's somebody playing like a state title's on the line right there as the Highlanders get the ball back on their offensive end, and Coletsis looking to try to make something happen here. He's knifing to the middle of the field. Loose ball picked up by Crouch. He's going to pull it out.
Well, they had to get a body on Coletsis immediately. You saw the way that those guys were flying in on Coletsis, and that's a penalty that's going to go against the Scots.
Yep, that's going to be a push with possession there.
And you got to give a lot of credit to Straley on that clear, who's now picked up a long pole. And it looks like they're subbing him in as a long stick midi.
Yep. What do they say in Waterboy? Last game of the year, Brent. Can't hold anything back now. I had to, guys. You guys set me up for that one. There was no way I wasn't going to touch it. I'm sorry.
You can do it.
Exactly. I mean, for crying out loud, guys. And here come the Highlanders on their extra man opportunity with just over 8.5 in the fourth. Looks like Dana moving to the point here in the extra man. Coletsis with it, though. Back to Dana. Little seal. Nothing
Great
doing
handle.
there, though. Nice handle there by Crouch. Over to Starkey. Down to the low corner to Walker Stewart. There was a cutter there. I saw that one.
Kimo was wide open.
Coletsis with it now at X. Highland Park doing a very nice job so far, and they're man down. Ball keeps moving. Hitch, nothing doing.
Over the top to Coletsis, and this is where the vision comes in, Coach.
Pass down. There's another Hitch. Wraparound shot. Nothing. And wide. Coletsis with the backup.
Got the big little action from behind.
We get another pass out to the wing.
Uh-oh, Coletsis is down.
Dana with it.
I think Coletsis turned his ankle.
And it looks like there's going to be a timeout.
Cramp.
We got a little bit of a cramp here.
Well, back-to-back games was pretty hot yesterday. Certainly could do that. You got to make sure you're having your liquid IVs and Gator lights.
Yeah, well, while they're tending to Coletsis, we're going to tend to the rest of our Firehouse subs here. We're going to take it to a commercial. We'll be right back after this. And guys, what do we think?
Hell, right now, I think that, Highland Park has withstood a lot of the pressure that's been put on them by the Woodlands. Finding a way back in this. Coach, you really gave a great example of what they needed to do defensively, but also the fact that number 26 Frank Musa has been winning a lot of those face-offs really has changed the complexity of this game. But defensively, I'm so proud of the way that they have responded. They're not overreacting as I saw them in the first half to Chemo Coletsis.
And I also think a big factor is that senior leadership. You got to think Musa, Quinn Gordon, Ben Abel, Wesley Iverson, those captains really motivated these guys coming into the second
Sawyer
half.
Stewart pass, a shot, and a goal by Ridge Crouch. Sawyer Stewart sweeping to the right, gets it over to Ridge Crouch with the step down, and the lefty doing things a lefty should do on that side of the field.
Well, you knew that the Woodlands would respond, and there's a shot from Crouch. Again, no worms were harmed in that shot. That was all ground. And, guys, I can't take credit for that one. That's a Jim Dixon call every time. It's no worms were harmed on that shot, man, because that was low to the ground.
Oh, man, you got to love it. Looks like both teams here on the face-off electing to protect the break on both sides. No one was hip-to-hip on that one. Again, it's been a solid battle at the dot all day, but Highland Park's going to pick up this one, and they have another opportunity here in transition. Pull, step pass in the middle of the field, shoots and scores!
Oh, man. You had some confusion from the Woodlands. You had that bottom low defender slide upfield, which created that seam. Great job by Spencer Harper here, pushing it in transition. And then go off ball cut, they put it in the back of the net.
And just like we saw yesterday from the Woodlands, always responding when there was a score. Just like that, HP comes right back and scores, gets a score of their own. Wesley Iverson, Mr. Johnny on the spot for that score.
Gotcha. Nicely done right there in transition. Cameron Riley coming down the field. As Presnell wins this one through his legs up, but it's a fumbled ground ball. Musa staying on the ride, but they're going to get it down to Clinton. Clinton looking to quarterback this clear. Highland Park electing to let the game come to them with a drop ride as O'Rourke rolls back to his right to get this down to Dana. It sounds like I'm getting some stuff in my headset here. Hopefully we're not talking about an overtime thing here, are we?
Yeah.
Oh no, Why did you do
that? Hey, listen, guys, listen. I'm a lax rat. Coletza shoots and it's saved by Abel. I'm a lax rat. I want bonus lacrosse, but I don't know. I could do this stuff all day. It's like the McEnroe Bjorn Born match. It could go on for 5 hours. I'll still be here.
Oh, man. You walked right into it.
I couldn't help it. I hear it. I say it. As Abel is going to take matters into his own hands here on this clear. And that's going to be an offsides.
I think somebody on the near side to us must have stepped over there because it looked like they had four guys back.
That's what I thought so too, but yeah, it must have been somebody flirting with the midline there. As the Highlanders get the ball back on offense. Still plenty of time left in the contest here at Buddy Eccles Field. As a pass inside. And there's going to be some extracurricular right there. Play on as Coletsis was shoved into the crease. And the officials are going to throw a flag on that one. As Coletsis looks like he's still down. Helmet is off. Walker Stewart trying to get the guys out of the way, let them breathe a little bit. And here comes the training staff.
And you hope Chemo is okay.
Not really sure if we have a replay yet. Try to see. He was knifing through the middle of the field. He was heading to his strong hand.
Yeah, had a wide open look. Abel was able to get a piece of that shot with his leg. Big save by Abel.
And Abel, it looks like we don't have a good look at it. There's going to be some tending to. Looked like it might have been a little high. Who knows? Certainly after the play, the training staff is going to tend to him, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back as soon as they get him off.
And I think we're getting a call here.
But
it looks like it's going to be an unnecessary roughness. 1 minute locked in.
Yep.
I think they probably lucked out they didn't get a 2 minute.
Yep, that's going to be the call on the field. The call here in the booth, I think we're going to take a quick break while they still tend to Mr. Koletsis. And we'll be right back in 30 seconds.
I'll sit down, have a cup of cappuccino, a cookie, read a book. When the car is ready, they come get me. It's a great way to start a Saturday.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Lexus locations.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back here. Highland Park still leading the Highlanders of the Woodlands here, but the Woodlands has an extra man opportunity with just under 5.5 here in the game.
And maybe good to mention that Kimo Koletsis did walk off on his own.
Yes, he did, on his own power. Training staff tended to him. Looked like he got a hit to the head from a shoulder as the officials went with a 1 minute non-releasable. For those of you watching at home, that means that the Woodlands can score as many times as they can within a minute. The penalty will not release if the Woodlands scores here.
And it looks like Coach Stahl had that EMO play with that big box fake spin scouted very well, because I think Ryan Brown ran that at Hopkins.
Highland Park, potential release here. Doing a very solid job, and their man down as a pass from Dana. It looked like he was trying to connect with his teammate and Cooper Starkey, but that pass goes wide, and it goes back to Highland Park.
Missed opportunity there from the Highlanders.
As they say, the captain casual pass, as there's another transition pass back down to the low pipe, shoots and scores! Highland Park adding to their lead here. Another goal in transition. Let's take a look at this replay, brought to you by Groovy Hughes.
And Duncan Zilke, you better find somebody for this guy. They're missing number 19, but that's a great outlet pass to find him in his sweet spot, Coach.
Yeah, impeccable timing there by Ben Boyer, getting that pass off before he got checked to find Duncan Zelke wide open on that back left pipe.
Zelke with the finish, going high over the shoulder of Clinton. And as you can see, the far wing, or the near sideline for the Woodlands and Highland Park, still missing a man because they were still man down. But the penalty does release right after the face-off. But the Woodlands gets possession on offense here. Still down by 3 with just over 4 minutes left in the game. And we get O'Rourke with it up top. He's carrying into the short stick matchup. We get an initiation here. Looks like it's Starkey.
Oh, wow. Way to step in the middle of that.
Thought about passing it to X. Yep, picked off by the Scots. Abel, scrum for it. There's a play on. And we're going to call a loose ball push on the Woodlands. And it goes back to the Scots.
Got to give Coach Stahl credit for the defensive adjustment at half. That's been the difference here for the Scots.
And that's a great job by Duncan Zelke, coming up and recognizing the Woodlands was in a 10-man ride.
Zelke, pass out in front. Down to Parker. And Addison has it. So he waits for the rest of his guys and his offensive unit to get on the field.
And look for Highland Park to really use this entire shot clock now that we're almost under 3 minutes left in the contest.
Slowly chipping away down at the clock. The Woodlands getting sideways as Porter trying to quarterback the rest of the Woodlands defense into matching up and finding the cutters. There's O'Rourke behind the cage defensively, waiting for the go-ahead from Coach Brown, and he signals. Passing cutter out in front, shoots and scores again! And Highland Park has come out with these adjustments on both sides of the ball, and it's 14-10 with 2:44 left in the game.
You ask if they could play with this pace for 4 quarters. Highland Park withstood it. They came out on their own, and they have been scoring in bunches. And right now, with Kimo Coletsis going out with the injury, which was unfortunate, but man, has Highland Park come out from halftime. They've made the adjustments defensively, but they've gotten their shooters and all of their guys involved here in the second half.
Certainly changing up their shot selections, and then also Moose is stepping up big time to take the lead on the faceoffs in that third quarter.
Another State Farm goal right there. Brought to you by Natalie Burkhalter's State Farm Agency. As the Scots, as we mentioned before, take a 4-goal lead over the Woodlands here in the fourth. Just over 2 minutes. There's a low pass that was attempted for Walker Stewart. Coletsis, who's back on the field after that hit that he took, knifing to the middle, tried to save it.
Man, Coletsis, man, what a hustle.
You got to definitely give the sophomore credit. He's been all over the field today. He's been taking wings. He's been quarterbacking this offense as the sophomore. But the Scots certainly have made adjustments to help him out, as there's a patient opportunity right there by Addison. Thought he was going to pass it to the inside.
But that was an excellent high IQ play, recognizing that they're under 2 minutes to continue to milk this clock.
Paxton Smith trying to get away from the double team as Clinton's coming out of the cage, so the Woodlands can try to double the ball here. Empty net opportunity. Similar to hockey, but not quite, as the goalie still stays on the field, but just leaves the crease to allow for that double team. Kind of a last-ditch effort. But the Highlanders do get it. Transition pass by Starkey. Down to the wing to Walker Stewart. He winds up, shoots, and it goes wide. Race for it. It's backed up by Dana. And there's 1:14 left in this game. And can the Woodlands strike quickly? And there's another turnover. Rolls into the crease and into the stick of Ben Abel.
Yeah, I think he just kind of panicked there. Ben Abel, excellent job recognizing in that 10-man. Looks like the ball is going to still be in play. Woodlands is going to get it back.
Yep, back to the Woodlands as they chip away, or have tried to chip away, but Highland Park showing some very sound adjustments as that pass is going to roll out of bounds again. And there's 38 seconds left in this game. As the Scots slowly starting to celebrate now, as there's just over 20 seconds left in this game. Woodlands fighting to try to get the ball back. And there's an official timeout here for a second. And as we mentioned before, there were 2 new head coaches of these programs, the Woodlands and Anthony DeMeo, and Highland Park with Mike Pressler, former Bryant head coach out in Rhode Island, former Duke head coach. And as this clock winds down and they take Coletsis off the field, certainly showing some frustration, fighting through that cramp that he's had previously in the third that he was tended to for. As there's 10 seconds left here in the game. Call goes back to the Highlanders. One last attempt. There's a shot by Crouch. It's saved by Abel.
It's poetic justice, man.
And that is going to do it. And Mike Pressler, in his first year as a head coach for the Highland Park Scots, leads this team to victory as he gets the ice bath from the guys on the sideline. And congratulations to the Highland Park Scots, who fought back and took the lead in the third and closed it out here in the fourth.
Oh, man, guys. Just, what a game. What a game. And you know it's going to be tough. You know it's going to be tough for Highland Park to beat the Woodlands twice. And just like the first game that these guys played in Houston, the Woodlands came out fast and furious, scored a bunch of points, and it looked like for certain points in time in this game that Highland Park had no answer for Coletsis or anything that the Highlanders was going to bring. Defensively, they seemed dysfunctional at certain points, especially in that first half, but the adjustments that Coach Mike Pressler made and Coach Stahl made at halftime made the difference in this coach. And, man, man, what a great display of hockey and of lacrosse, and what a great weekend for the sport.
And not just the adjustments on the defensive end, but also in the offensive end. Got to give Coach Brown some credit there. They really changed up their shot selections and adjusted and took advantage of that goalie change. But I think the story of this has really been, you got to give a ton of credit to that senior class. They're such great leaders for Highland Park, really stepped up, and you saw that with Frank Musa. I mean, his back was really against the wall, didn't have his best outing the first half, and that was the turning point in this game, was Frank Musa's ability to make those adjustments and really take over at the face-off X in the second half.
And you could certainly see the emotion from the senior right there. Shared a very nice warm embrace with his head coach and Coach Pressler. You could see the emotion on his face. You could certainly see the emotion in his entire reaction as he ripped off the jersey running over to the Highland Park student section. Congratulations to Frank, the Quinnipiac, the future Bobcat.
Wow.
Certainly got to give credit, though, to the Highlanders of the Woodlands, Coach DeMayo in his first year leading these guys all the way to a title game.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you know, Fresno, who would have guessed they would have started that first half just dominating at the X. You know, that's something we thought Highland Park would probably have the edge of the entire game, and he really made it a battle. But, you know, the Chemo Koletsko kid is a really special player. I think he's going to be really exciting to watch the next couple of years. You know, and I think Highland Park did a good job of, you know, shutting down like Ridge Crouch. I mean, he was a big factor yesterday with 4 goals, and they only held him to 1 goal here today.
And Heckma, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit too to, you know, to that adjustments that you mentioned, but at the same time, I mean, that, you know, your guy Parker Addison finally showing up here in the scoring column, but also distributing it.
No, dude, all of those things that you just mentioned, man, I'm really, guys, this is a really proud moment. I didn't win a state title in high school. I definitely tried. But, you know, being a part of this program and being the voice of the Scots for this entire year, really hard being up here with you guys to call it right down the middle. I thought I did a good job of doing that, too, by the way. But, you know, as an announcer, I'm really proud of this team and the adversity that they faced. They've had several really good teams in the Park Cities, but this team, the way that the adversity that they face, those long spring breaks that they've taken to go and play some of the better teams in the nation, I think with the addition of Coach Mike Pressler, you've seen his identity truly be imprinted on this team, how tough they've been on defense, but that never can say die attitude of the Highland Park Scots. I've never seen at any point in any game where they were down, where they hung their head or felt like they were out of it. And this game is just a prime example of that.
Yeah, and I think a big factor of that is those senior captains, Woolworth Highland Park, when they lost 2 years ago in the state championship, they got significant playing time. You know, Ben Abel was the starter. So being here and getting all the way here and that, you know, not getting it across the goal line, so to speak, had to play a factor. They've been here, so they know what it takes to get it across the goal line. But to your point about spring break, having the support of the program to go away for the entire spring break and not take off in the middle of the season, which doesn't happen in football or basketball or baseball.
No other sport.
It really paid dividends down the road when they got back, and just playing against that tougher competition is a massive factor.
And again, I mean, given that credit to Coach Pressler, doing a tremendous job in his first year. And again, shout out to him. You could see the emotion too. Coach Brown, the offensive coordinator, sharing some moments with those guys. And, you know, certainly very nice opportunity for them, as you can see these guys heading over for the trophy presentation.
Man, I wonder who they're going to hand the MVP to. There's so many different guys that you could go to for the MVP, but that really is, you know, all of them played so fantastic. But, man, that game yesterday, you know, his ability to come back today and just play lights out. It just says how much of his leadership and him just taking his own advice and being able to be that captain and the voice in the locker room echoes and says a lot for the way that he came out here and played.
You're spot on about that. That's not something easy for a goalie to do when ESD went on that run. But he's such a competitor. That's why he's going to Loyola College next fall to play Division I lacrosse. And he was able to bounce back, massive factor. And you saw that, just getting back to that senior leadership. You know, same thing with Frank Musa. You know, he was down in that first half at the face-off X, and that's really the turning point of the game. You know, he's probably not going to get the MVP, you know, based on the stats, but that was the difference maker. His ability to make those adjustments in the second half to really allow and create that momentum for Highland Park to go on that run.
And certainly just a reminder that all the MVPs of this game are going to be brought to you by Tutor Doctor. And we're going to listen in to the PA. As there is our offensive MVP,
Paxton Smith.
That MVP brought to you by Tutor Doctor.
The 2023 State Finals Defensive MVP.
Defensive
from Highland
MVP.
Park, number 16,
Your guy, Ben Abel. And guys, color me surprised. Ben Abel with the MVP on the defensive end.
Who else would you give it to?
Holy moly. If you gave it to anybody else, there probably would have been a riot. Certainly did a tremendous job, especially in that semifinal game.
is awarded to, from HP, number 19,
Donuts! Look at that, man. The sophomore.
Nicely done by him.
And certainly, like, his off-ball offensive play, very impressive, especially being down here in Texas. It's so important. You know, 83% of the time you're playing off-ball lacrosse, but he did an incredible job finding those seams, getting his stick up, calling for it, and then executing and putting the ball in the back of the net.
Highlanders.
And that's what the PA giving recognition to the Highlanders of the Woodlands. They received their runner-up trophy. Coach DeMayo.
And now presenting your 2023 Class AA State Champions, the Highland Park Scots.
And the crowd, as they shockingly award it to the Moose and the rest of the captains, as they hoist the trophy. And the Scots are your 2023 Texas AA High School State Champions.
Boy, they competed for that thing, you know, and going through the season and to this point, going through the playoffs, this was the moment for them to shine. And, man, they came up against an opponent that gave them everything that they could handle. This is two great teams, two great competitors, and their coaches also going head-to-head, man. This was absolutely awesome to see them hand that trophy to number 26, Frank Musa.
Yeah, we're just going to talk through some of the highlights here before we say. Oh, but they're going to hand out some medals. Excuse me. Getting ahead of myself.
Well, hey, we don't want to miss the hard one.
I know, seriously. Yeah. But again, congratulations to Coach Pressler and Coach Brown and the rest of his staff. Coach Pressler, for those of you that haven't really played the home game, his first year as head coach of the Scots. And they were, I mean, look, they were down, but they were certainly not out. I mean, they fought right back. Musa did what he was supposed to do at the dot.
No, certainly keeping their composure in that first half was massive. And, you know, you got a big factor of that is just being battle tested, you know, and these seniors, we know how important it is and, you know, in the social side of things to go away for spring break, but sacrificing their entire spring break to dedicate that time to getting better at lacrosse and playing some of those tougher East Coast teams.
And not taking the spring break to play some marshmallows. They're playing nationally ranked opponents, and they stood up to all of it. So I think, you know, a lot of times in high school football, you see those cutting-edge schools, they take on, maybe even in college, they may take on some lighter opponents when they're waiting on the heavier opponents that are there to come later. I think you only get better because, as the saying goes, iron sharpens iron, and this team was sharpened by a lot of the competition that they faced throughout the season.
And you got to think you're going to probably get a lot more programs down here get on board with that philosophy as we continue to grow the sport and take it to the next level where they're dedicating their entire spring to go out there and push themselves and compete against the best.
Certainly. And, I mean, again, from a cultural standpoint, not a lot of the programs everywhere else, especially on the East Coast, there's no spring break.
I had no idea what spring break was until I came down here to coach.
Being a college coach, it was, you know, what was spring break? Being a college player, what was spring break like? I mean, that was something that you're always missing. Musa, again, usually always good for a goal off the face-off, and he showed that again today. But again, got to give credit to some of those guys on the Woodlands again. With Sawyer Stewart, he was close to a hat trick. His last shot rung the post. He had a goal with a couple of hands today.
Well, I tell you, that initial onslaught of goals by the Woodlands, man, was so clutch. And again, they had a 3-goal lead at one point and looked like they were running away, but it never got out of hand. And well, I think the turnaround on defense, but also there was a goal that was called back on a crease violation. It just seemed like it turned the tide for the Scots.
Yep, absolutely. And again, a lot of the transition stuff too, Dalton.
Yeah, a lot of transition, especially with these long sticks, just showcasing their stick skills and ability to generate offense in the transition game.
But guys, that's all she wrote.
Yep, that's going to be it. Heck of a season. Really enjoyed calling the broadcast with you guys.
Absolutely.
For Heckma Harrison, Dalton Jernigan, I'm Chris Herron. Thanks for joining in, and we'll see you next season here. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks to all of our viewers. Thanks to all of our sponsors. And again, Dalton Jernigan, Heckma Harrison, Chris Herron, thanks everybody for tuning in here on Game On Sports Network. Good night and God bless, and we'll see you all next year here on Game On Sports Network.